Hello and welcome to the show. Now, there are a great many exciting cars to own and drive on Forza Horizon 3. However, a lot of them are, well, not exactly cheap. This Lamborghini Murcielago, for example, will cost you 500,000 credits, and there are plenty of supercars costing similar amounts of money. Hypercars can be running up to 2 or 3 million, and then of course, you have the classic race cars. There are 3 or 4 of them that are 10 million credits each. So, if you're going to be wanting to own all of them, you're going to be needing plenty of money. So I decided to go and have a look at what are the best ways of earning money. I'm not worried about cheats and exploits and so on. Don't want to be dealing with any of that. I'm talking about legitimate, genuine ways of making money on Horizon 3. Now, for each of these kind of different methods, I was given a 20-minute time period in which to try and make as much money as possible. Starting off with just a basic career mode championship. Now, this is kind of a large part of the single player of this game. You're going to be doing plenty of these, and a 4-race championship takes around 20 minutes. You've got a mixture of point-to-point races, a mixture of circuit races. I wasn't counting the wheel spins and the prize money from them in this calculation. This was just the money from completing the races, because, you know, the wheel spins, you'll be gaining perhaps more when you're at lower levels than at higher levels, and also, of course, a random element of the prize in that. So, over the course of one 20-minute championship, I earned 62,792 credits. Of course, the downside of these sort of championships is you got a fair bit of time in loading screens and, of course, driving in between events. Now, everything that you do in single player can also be done in co-op mode, which means these races can be done with you and up to 3 other people. The races themselves do change a little bit. You go from, well, just trying to win the race yourself to a team event where you group of humans are trying to beat the drivatars. Now, I wondered if by doing the race in co-op, whether you would gain kind of extra bonus credits. Unfortunately, that is not the case in this. Again, I opted for a 4-race championship. It took just under 20 minutes. It was a mixture, once more, of point-to-point races and relatively short circuit races. And I came out with 60,909 credits. Though a couple of thousand less. The main reason it was less in this one of the races I didn't win. You know, in the single-player career mode, I won all the 4 races in that championship. In this one, I think I won 3 out of the 4, but you're not as likely to be, especially if you're racing against people that are, you know, as quick as you and so on. You're probably not going to be winning all the races. Now, this is more fun, most definitely, but as far as money goes, yeah, you're not going to be earning quite as much. There are bonuses, of course, for doing a co-op. While it's not monetary, you gain a lot more fans, which means you'll unlock new festivals and unlock new events quicker. I think you get the same XP in these events. I didn't actually check on that one, but yes, you do gain fans a lot quicker, so it does progress you through the game faster. However, as far as earning money goes, yeah, no real discernible difference between co-op and the single-player stuff. There are plenty of other distractions to be doing. The PR stunts will gain you XP and will gain you fans. They, as far as I'm aware, they don't gain you money. If they do, the game doesn't tell you that you are gaining money. The bucket list, though, these will gain you some credits. These are good fun. I like the bucket list. I like the little challenges that it comes up with. And often, there are a couple that are a bit longer, but a lot of these aren't particularly long, you know, only taking a minute or 2 to complete. However, monetary-wise, they're not particularly huge paying either. So, yeah, I mean, you'll earn a little bit of credits from these, but yeah, it's nothing sort of massive, nothing particularly special. Now, one of the other sort of racing that does go on in Horizon, there are these street races. When you have completed so many head-to-head races, so the drivatars that drive around, you can challenge any of them to a race, complete so many of them, and you unlock access to these street races. These are kind of, it's supposed to be illegal races. I think they mostly take place at night as well. Bloody difficult races. Of all the events that I've come across in Horizon 3, these ones are some of the most difficult. Now, I wondered, because, you know, they were supposed to be these illegal straight races, whether there would be more money perhaps involved for racing and winning them. that is not the case either. Unfortunately, similar prize fund as you would get from just doing a normal exhibition event on a point-to-point race. Of course, the actual sort of total money does vary a little bit depending on the length of the race, but yeah, there is no discernible difference between these and the normal races. There are, purpose of doing these. Again, there are various special cars that can only be unlocked from winning these races. I don't know if they can be bought on the auction house or not, but there are cars that are won from the street races that you can't go and buy from the auto show. But yeah, worth doing as far as cars to unlock, but money-wise, yeah, no difference. This particular race was a rather impressive finish there. Identical times between my car and the Quattro there. Yeah, they're seriously close races. And as I said, they are very, very difficult races to do. But you're not going to be earning any extra money. So, another kind of event that you can do to gain credits is the Rivals mode. Now, this is just you time trialing around various circuits. All of the tracks in the game can be taken out in Rivals mode. And there were a lot of sort of different things that I wanted to look at in terms of completing Rivals mode and the prize money that you got. For all of these tests, I wasn't including the Rivals bounty, so the game will set you a target time to try and beat. I set my target to be the world record, so I wasn't beating the target time on these, so I'm not including the prize bounty. The first thing I wanted to look at was class of car, because if you're running I think a B-class car, as I am here, would it earn the same money for the same amount of laps as you would in, let's say, an S2 class car? Of course, the S2 class car is going to complete the laps much quicker, going to cover the distance much quicker, and unfortunately, that is very much the case. Over the course of 3 laps around this circuit, I earned 9,807 credits in this Skyline, 9,809 in an S2 Lamborghini, and of course, I've completed the laps much quicker in the Lambo. So, for earning money, you're going to be wanting, for earning money quickly, shall we say, you're going to be wanting to go for the higher class cars. You're simply going to be covering more laps quicker. Now, as far as laps go, the kind of money you earn is on a per lap basis. It doesn't kind of give you any extra bonuses for doing a large number of laps in one go. So I did 3 laps, 6 laps, and 12 laps around this circuit. The 3 laps was 9,809, 6 laps, 19,100, 12 laps, 38,300. So, yeah, there is pretty much scales it up exactly for the money. So you're at about 3,000 credits per lap, roughly. So, yeah, you're going to, the more laps you do, you're going to be earning more money, but there is absolutely no bonus for doing a large number of laps in one go. The other thing to take into consideration, of course, is the length of lap, whichever circuit you select. Of course, the longer the lap, the more money you are going to be earning. That doesn't necessarily mean that a short circuit you can't earn more money on, because the lap could potentially be very, very quick. Now, I had a look around through the Rivals events to find various circuits, and because of a lot of Horizon 3 circuits are very, very quick, you really want to be going for the longest lap circuit that you can find. A track like this is the Rainforest Circuit, is a 2.1 miles. It is the second longest of the laps. So I'm not counting any cross-country, because you'll spend too long bouncing around and won't really be able to go around one of them as quickly. Of the kind of tarmac circuits, this is the second largest of the tracks. And, we're talking about a 55-second lap in a really, really very quick S2 class car, whereas the previous circuit, you're looking at about 45-second lap. So we're already talking 10 seconds longer lap around here, and you're earning considerably more money around this track. So much like it was in Horizon 2, the longer lap circuit is the sort of the better ones to be going for, because over the course of the 20 minutes you will be earning more money. Around this Rainforest circuit, it was 113,378 credits. Now, I did say it was the second longest of circuits, because there is one a bit bigger. This is the Goliath track. It's basically laps around the entirety of the Horizon 3 map. That is a seriously long distance, and because it is mostly on these sorts of roads, it is a very, very quick lap. I say quick lap around here. We're talking about 9.5, 10 minutes per lap, but your average speed is probably in the low 200 miles an hour. It is certainly if you're driving a Koenigsegg 1.1. Now this means that the total distance covered around here in the time is, fantastic. You're getting about 78,000 credits per lap of this circuit. So a single lap of this track is, not that much less than 20 minutes around the Rainforest circuit. So it is definitely worth it because, of course, unlike the other events that you're doing, certainly the career mode championships, you're going through loading screens, you're driving in between the events. You're not doing that here. You're simply covering distance at very, very high speed. You're covering a lot of distance in a short space of time. And that is very good in terms of making money, although, word of warning, of course, this track is tough to drive at these sorts of speed and, very easy to make mistakes on, etc. But yeah, as far as the distance covered, it is by far the greatest. So, over that 20-minute time period, Goliath Circuit, you will get 2 laps in around there, 156,224 credits from that one. The Rainforest Circuit, not bad, but not quite as good as the Goliath Circuit with 113,000. The career mode championships, are a fair way off. They're almost 100,000 credits off the lapping of the Goliath Circuit, 62,000 from that and 60 from the co-op mode. Now, in all of these calculations so far, I haven't been including the wheel spins. Of course, every time you level up, you will gain a wheel spin, and from that, you can be earning all sorts of interesting prizes and a fair amount of cash. Especially if you have VIP, you will earn double the amount of cash. Now, you can also go and buy wheel spins. These aren't the VIP wheel spins, so you won't be earning double money if it lands on credits. And I was curious if, buying 10 wheel spins, that's 50,000 credits each, that's 500,000 credits, whether I'd be making money perhaps, or be getting interesting cars. You're not going to be making money from gaining the credits from this. In total, I lost 193,000 credits, which is a fairly sizable amount. However, you can be gaining some interesting cars. For example, the best that I got from this lot, the McLaren 650S, certainly not a bad prize to be winning. And of course, there is always the hope that you might get a Horizon Edition car. For example, this BMW M4. I don't get the Horizon Edition car, but kind of the main draw of the wheel spins is to try and get the rare cars. Actual, credit money-wise, you're not really going to be, unless you're very, very lucky, you're not going to be gaining from this, but you might be gaining the rare and potentially expensive cars. And if you do win a Horizon Edition vehicle, of course, you can sell it on the auction house. Some are much more common than others. For example, this Jaguar F-Type Project 7, there are a lot of these around on the auction house. They probably go for under $500,000 relatively easily. However, there are some considerably rarer. There's a BAC Mono, Lamborghini Countach, for example. I have never seen them even as a possible prize in a wheel spin. Haven't seen any on the auction house. I only know that they are a thing because when you search through the auction house, you can try and search for one, not that they come up. So if you happen to win one of them, you could potentially sell it for an awful lot of money. I'm not sure you would want to sell it because they are seemingly very, very rare, but potential, certainly one way to make money should you be lucky enough to get very, very rare cars. Now, another good way, although one that is very, very hard to kind of quantify in some respects, is doing the bounty drivatars. Every so often you'll find these around the map with the little crosshair icon above them. These races themselves are no different to a normal head-to-head race against any of the drivatars that you can find. However, they are worth huge amounts of money, and they're relatively straightforward. The AIs tend to be driving around in standard cars, so in this instance, for example, my McLaren, faster car than the Ferrari I'm racing, or you can have a modified car, or you can just take the odd shortcut with the drivatar won't, and so on. Straightforward races to win. They don't take particularly long. It's about 45 seconds to a minute for most of these races, and it's 60,000 credits a race. That's a big amount of credits. The downside is, well, how often they spawn in a 20-minute time period where I just sat around seeing if I could find one, none showed up. So definitely worth doing if you see one. However, they don't always necessarily spawn when you want them to, and you certainly can't just farm them over the course of a set amount of time. Now, the Horizon Edition cars, we're going to go back to these because these vehicles all have their own little bonuses. Some are to the skill points, so you'll gain extra skill points, or you'll gain extra skill points when drifting. Some have, like the Jaguar, have bonuses to XP, so you'll gain more XP for completing the races. And some, like this Ford GT, have a credit bonus. So for each of the races that you complete with this car, you will be gaining a fair amount more credits. Now, yes, winning one of these cars is you either have to buy it off the auction house or, you know, get it from a wheel spin and be very, very lucky. And up until the point where I won this Ford, the two previous Horizon Edition cars, the Nissan GTR and the Ford Focus that I have, both of them were skill point bonuses, and seeing as I don't really ever use the skill points part of this game a huge amount, I never really noticed how much of a difference that they made. So I went out with the Ford GT to go and find out, and it is a sizable amount, like a really, really sizable amount of credit difference. Around this Rainforest circuit, over the course of 6 laps with an S2 class car, I earned 34,530 credits. With this Ford GT, I earned 54,845. So we're talking 20,000 credits more for doing the same number of laps in a car that is just as fast. This Ford is an S2 class car, incredibly quick vehicle. So in 6 laps around here is, we're talking about just under 6 minutes. 54,000 credits is not too bad going at all. So yeah, if you can get one of these Horizon Edition cars with the credit bonus, that is very, very useful indeed. However, it doesn't just stop there. You see, I noticed while I was looking through the perks mode, in the festival boss section of this, there are some kind of reusable perks that you can buy. So you can start further up towards the front of the grid. You can there's a credit bonus for completing championships. I can't say I've ever seen that appear on this, money for completing championships appear on the screen, so I don't quite know how much you do earn. There is quadruple the rivals bounty bonus, but they don't tend to be particularly large. The more interesting one, earn double credits from each exhibition race that you can compete in. Now, okay, a normal race, that is not a particularly huge amount necessarily. However, all of the areas, all of the exhibition events and so on, you can create a blueprint for. So you can create your own custom races, and you can make them as long as you like. Which means for a 20-minute time period, if I go and get this perk, and it's not hard to get 10 skill points, a couple of blasts at 260 miles an hour up and down a motorway, you'll get it in absolutely no time. So you get the perk, you then go and find the Goliath Circuit, and then you go to exhibition mode. Now, as we know, it's about 9.5, 10 minutes per lap around this track. I just, for this, selected to be racing against some Fords, because I know I'm going to be wanting to use my GT. So 2 laps around here is going to roughly equate to 20 minutes. I want the weather to be clear and, mornings, I've got nice visibility and so on for the sake of all of this race. I will change the name. Mega Money Race is this one. I think it's probably will be up on the blueprint things. If you want to have a go with it yourself, you are more than welcome to. And that will be the race. And of course, we're going for the credit bonus car, which means the end of all of this, the money was likely to be pretty good. As I said, it is a long race. It is a very, very tough race, this one, as well. The driver tars got a bit derpy out here. There was me and another Ford GT, another Horizon Edition Ford GT, actually, were battling a lot for the first part, or the first lap. We then caught up to the rest of the driver tars that must have had a giant crash and got stuck at some point, because in a 2-lap race, I was catching up to lap them all, and this was a relatively early part in the lap as well. So I suspect the driver tar managed to have an accident, and everyone got sort of stuck behind it, and they must have got confused at some point. Anyway, yeah, an odd moment to find all of these driver tars. And a word of warning: I would recommend that you have damage turned off and you have rewind turned on, because it is such a long race and very easy to get tangled up. With these higher class cars, the driver tars certainly do seem to be a lot faster, so if you are struggling, turn the difficulty down. Changing those They will affect the amount of rewards you will get, but it is only fractionally compared to the other bonuses that you have applied, and of course you want to be winning this race. So, over the course, in fact you can see the race timer going on at the top of the screen, almost get into trouble across the water as we come to the finish line, less than 20 minutes this race all took, and we've seen before, Goliath Circuit is the best one for making money. I mean, you could apply this to other circuits, just up the laps to take up the full 20 minutes. Of course, you don't want to be doing multiple races. It's much better to be doing it all one race so you don't have loading screens and driving distance taken on. Yeah, you could go to other circuits, but overall, for the time, Goliath Circuit is the one that you want. We get a relatively straightforward. I had to defend a lot in the opening lap from the other Horizon Edition GT, bloody fast driver tars around this circuit. I'm sure as I get more used to the track, I'll be able to run it quicker. However, the more important thing, the money. So first place, 86,000 credits. The difficulty insists 86,000. The lineup bonus is actually significant in this at nearly 50,000 credits. Then the Horizon Edition and the perk bonus are another 86,000 credits each. So you are essentially doubling your money by using this car and the perk. That is a lot. XP is also very, very good, so you're going to get a large number of wheel spins. Now, you could do this race, perhaps, rather than using the car here that's giving me the money bonus, you could potentially go for a car that gives you an XP bonus to try and get more wheel spins. Certainly a solid strategy as well, because these are all, they're free wheel spins. They're going to be VIP wheel spins if you have that, which means they're going to be earning you quite a lot of money as well. That's 300,000 credits so far in the first couple of wheel spins. And again, there's potential for getting the Horizon Edition cars. Now, for me, unfortunately, I was not going to be that lucky. There's another 100,000 in that. Yeah, there's going to be an element of luck in terms of wheel spins. So if you are going to go for the tactic of using a Horizon Edition car with an XP boost, sometimes you might get incredible, amazing wheel spins going on. Other times, yeah, you might not quite earn as much. Said for me, this one, actually not the most exciting lot of these. I was winning mainly money from this lot, which is certainly helpful, but yeah, no exciting cars out of that. In total, from all of that, in just that 20-minute time period, if we add on all the money that I won from the wheel spins, it was 854,000 credits. 854,000 credits from that race. That is a lot of money. That is an awful lot of money in just 20 minutes. And of course, you don't have to limit yourself to 20 minutes. That was just the time frame I set for this investigation to do all the different sort of methods. You go up to an hour-long race, let's say, in that. Yeah, you can get money pretty damn quickly. Yes, you are going to want a Horizon Edition car that gives you a credit boost. That does make things considerably easier. I mean, you don't have to. You're still going to be earning quite a lot of money from doing that race anyway, but it does help having a Horizon Edition car, as does that particular perk. As I said, not particularly difficult to get it. In the course of that race, I gained 5 skill points. So I was halfway there to getting that perk again. And a couple of runs down the motorway, you'll be getting those in absolutely no time. Hell, you can use a Horizon Edition car to get skill points quickly if you have one of them. So, yeah, while initially it did look like money was going to be a bit more of a difficult thing, and certainly you're not going to be earning quite as much money as easily as you did in Forza 6, the million credit wheel spins that were very, very commonplace in that, not a thing that happens as much in Horizon 3, but there are ways around it. There's quite a few intricacies of these Horizon Edition cars and some of the perks that you can pick up that I think are really quite interesting. I'm glad that I delved into this and tried to look at all of the different little intricacies of it, because it is a bit more complex than I was kind of expecting when I initially set out to do this, but yeah, there we go. That, though, is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope that this is helpful for you lot. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.